Ladies, where you at? Where you at? Right now, we are gonna start this show right now. Girl, you want me? I will mix that gun. Take our next mix the car right now. We take it. Let's go share up the share. I never go share in a campus family because nobody out there watching. The live. Oh, let's share this. Let's share this right now.
They say I'm crazy, I really don't care. That's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but I don't give a damn. Getting yours is how I live. Some nasty questions, why am I so real? But they don't understand me, or really don't know the deal about my brother. Trying hard to make it right. Not long ago, before I win this fight, everybody's talking all this
stuff about me, why?
Just let me live. Tell me why. I don't need permission, make my own decisions. That's my prerogative. It's my prerogative. It's the way that I want to live. It's my prerogative. I can do just what I feel. It's my prerogative. No one can tell me what to do. It's my prerogative. Cause what I'm doing for you now. Don't get me wrong, I'm really not suited. Ego trips is not my thing. All these strange relationships really gets me down. I see nothing wrong with spreading myself around. Everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Yeah. Why don't they just let me live? Tell me why. I don't need permission. I don't need my own decision. That's my prerogative. It's my prerogative. I can do what I wanna do. It's my prerogative. Can you live my life? It's my prerogative. I'm doing it just for you. It's my prerogative. It's tell me why can't I live my life without all of the things that people say? Yo, Teddy, kick it like this. Out now. I can do what I wanna do. Me and you. Together. Everybody's talking. Why don't they just let me live? Why don't they just let me live, girl? I don't need permission from nobody. That's my prerogative. Everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Everybody's talking. Just let me live. Now I don't need permission. I don't need my own decision. That's my prerogative. What is this, a blizzard that I can't have money in my pocket and people not talk about me? This world is a trip. I don't know what's going on these days. Got this person over here talking about me, this person. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. This is my prerogative. I can do what I want to do. I made this money, you didn't. Right, Ted? We out here. All this love waiting just for you. I just gotta know that your love is true. Can't keep running, boy, in and out my life. Wanna be your girl now, 'cause the mood is right. If I let you come inside tomorrow, will you act? Will you be there for me when I need someone to hold? Baby, don't misunderstand. I do want you for my man. I just need a little time before I invest my love. Don't walk away, boy. Don't walk away. My love won't hurt you. No, no. Don't walk away, boy. I'll be right there for you. All the things that I like to hear. You push on my buttons, baby. Love to have you close to me. Wanna feel your love. Wanna be for sure that it's me you need, baby, each and every night. If I let you come inside tomorrow, will you act? Will you be there for me when I need someone to hold? Baby, don't misunderstand. I do want you for my man. I just need a little time before I invest my love. Don't walk away, boy. My love won't hurt you. Don't walk away, boy. I'll be right there for you. Don't misunderstand. I want you for my man. I need a little time before I give you my love. Don't walk away, boy. I'll be right there for This is what it sounds like when we make love. Don't walk away, boy. Don't walk away, boy. I'll be right there for you.
We're there, man. We are share the life, people. Share the life. We're there, Johnny. Share the life. 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 Share the life, people. We here another Sunday again. Gyalis and the Baddies. We're just like going to share the live right now. Yeah, then we're there. Make sure so the people them tune in, come vibe with you today. Let me see what we got one over here. Yeah, that go on. It is going. It is going. It is going. Boom, but to God, you know. If you're just not tuning in, please drop a like. Please drop a like. Drop a comment that you hear. We about to kick the show off in like a minute or so. Let's go. People drop a comment. Let's go. Let me never share this already. Outside feel nice right now, people. We rocking. I mean, one more share on one more platform and we back up and running. Is the very last time. Everybody's talking about this shit about me. Tell me why. I think Beanie Man did the best cover of that song, yeah. Ready. They make crazy.
I really don't care. That's not the
They say we crazy. I like it. I agree. That look great.
Some nasty questions. Why am I so real?
All right, we act good. People. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Gyalis and the Baddies. This is your host, Vybz DJ. This is your host, Gyalis Jay.
And I'm Jenny. What's up, y'all?
Is it like every week you change your name? First I'm Jenny J, now I'm Jenny. Where you stick with?
My name's Jenny from the blog, Jenny J. Like, I go by
I feel like you got...
But at the end of the day, it's definitely Jenny, you know what I'm saying? So...
I feel like you got warrants. Because you be changing your name.
You never know.
Well, anyway, people, thanks for tuning in with us another Sunday again, Gyalis and the Baddies. And today's episode... Father's Day stuff, you know, something light, nothing crazy. We're gonna share our thoughts and opinions and views on this topic and just roll the ball. So, before we get into that, I wanna first of all thank our viewers. We've been growing at a small rate, but we're still growing. So, thank you for everybody who have been subscribing, tuning in, commenting on, rocking with us on Fridays and all of that good stuff. And we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. You wanna kick it up? You remember the sponsor them?
No, you can go ahead.
we got One Love Window Cleaning.
I was gonna say Mo Fire Trucking, of course. Y'all already know.
You don't know. And definitely D&K Catering. They're gonna be at the Father's Day picnic today at GVP Valley Park. They're catering for that. So all the dads, we know y'all wives, or if y'all single dads, they like to go cheap on y'all for Father's Day, because Mother's Day is the second biggest holiday in America. Father's Day is not even in the top 10. I don't celebrate this shit, but for those who, if you're a dad and you want to celebrate, just go to GVP later, go support Pop Styles and D&K Catering. Two dads in our community that had business that's been growing at a dope rate, and they always give back to our community, right? So remember, Genesee Valley Park, Father's Day brunch by Pop Style and the catering by helping out with D&K Catering. So, whatever sponsor we got, New York Styling.
Oh, absolutely.
Shout out to New York Styling. Yeah, definitely. And I feel like I'm forgetting one. Other than the
Window Cleaning? Did you say One Love Window
Yeah,
Cleaning?
I said one of it.
Right.
So I also, last but not least, big up Livevybz Production and definitely All In Podcast Network for making all of this possible. Sponsors out the way. We already shout out the chat. So now we got any. You remember any events coming up?
Not that I know of right now. Any events. But again, to the chat, like, if you guys have any events coming up, if you want us to shout out any of your businesses or anything like that, you know, just send it to us. You can send us a direct message on Instagram, or you can also send us a direct message on YouTube as well.
All right, so we're gonna put our cups up and give a quick. If you have anybody for the birthday, because we're gonna do our birthday toast right now.
So my sister's birthday is the 19th. So happy birthday,
That's
Diva.
next weekend, right?
Yeah, Juneteenth.
And my sister's birthday is the 20th.
Yeah,
the day
so
after that. So we had a
happy
couple
birthday.
birthdays. So we're gonna put our cups up for the birthday people and our toast to the weekend. And I want to say happy birthday to Jenny's sister
Yep.
in advance. Happy birthday to my little sister in advance. Happy belated birthday to Drizzy, and happy belated birthday to my very, very best friend, Shawnee Davis.
Yes. Happy birthday, Shawnee.
Happy birthday, Doc.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I
Well,
table.
damn.
No, because our show, we normally hit the table because we don't want no man touch me cup a bad habit.
Oh, okay. I get it.
So, people, we here talk about fathers, father day, daddy day, all of that.
Yes.
So, with the chat and my host here, we gonna see what's cooking in the pot, because I don't celebrate none of these commercial holidays. Even I'm so on my birthday. Everybody know me how I am with this holiday. So I'm just here to kind of share the experience and kind of get more understanding of it and see what happens next year. But for me, I'm cool. So how are we gonna kick this off, Jenny?
Well, first and foremost, the topic for today is: can you celebrate a father who doesn't fully show up? And what does showing up really mean? Because I think that's a big one, you know. Some people, I feel like some people's like, oh, he's a great father, he's a great dad, and or something like that, when the person is doing the bare minimum, or a person that's actually kicking it off and doing what they need to do for these kids out here. So what do you know, I'm going to kind of direct this to the chat, and you guys get a little insight on what you guys, we want a little insight on what you guys think about what is a good father, you know, and what does that look like showing up. And then
You got that. Go ahead.
we want to just let's shout out all the fathers in the building. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my dad. So if you know any fathers who, you know what I'm saying, shout out to my brother. Shout out to, I have a few brothers that's fathers, so shout out to all of them. Shout out to, who else? There's a lot of fathers. I mean, shout out to all
Uncle Beans.
Yeah, shout out to all
right,
them. Shout out to you. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
Definitely. Jay always have his child, like always. She be on the show and everything, just behind the scenes, y'all. Behind the scenes, but she definitely be here.
Yeah,
So,
she gonna pull up later.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I want to shout out to all the dads that are doing stuff correctly.
yes.
And when I say correctly, that don't mean you're doing what your wife or your baby mom say. You're doing stuff that you know needs to get done.
Exactly.
Without being asked, and you're just doing it. So shout out to y'all.
And I think one of the big things that I think it comes with maturity when separating from your ex-partner, or even if it wasn't, because there's people who just probably had a one-night stand and end up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
shit happens.
shit happens. So I think being a good father also comes with like maturity as well. Kind of putting your feelings aside for the person that you once were with, or whatever the case may be, and just doing what is right for the child or children in the picture. So I'm really big on like, I feel like putting the kids first. I come, what does the kids need? What do the children need? You know?
I mean, I feel like that's situational when the conversation comes about putting the kids first.
Okay.
Because now that I'm a dad, I kind of understand. Sometimes I have to go first so I can make it better for everybody.
Oh, okay.
But for the basic or the average woman to understand that, highly unlikely.
Okay.
Because
So-
if we're supposed to be the breadwinner and all of that stuff, sometimes us dads or men have to be first, just so we can put ourselves in a better position to help y'all out easier or quicker.
I kind of get that. So do you mean like far as, because when I say put myself first, I say mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, because if I'm not okay, then my child isn't okay. So do you mean in an aspect
That's one
like
sense too.
that?
That's a sense. That's
that-
one
when
aspect. That's one aspect.
When I say sometimes I'm not okay, Like sometimes I'm not okay, and then I have to sit back and say, Jenny, you have to be okay because you have a child. So I just wanted to know what if you can elaborate on that.
Oh, like for example, you have situations where I've known a dad or a couple of them that be in situations. For example, you got to get your car fixed, but your kid needs some shoes.
Right. Okay.
Fix your car. By the next 2 weeks, you can get shoes because you can get to work and make your hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you have to make sacrifices sometimes, and that's about
exactly
about parenting
yeah,
too.
So,
though,
but you
know?
have the average woman won't get that. They say, why you can't? You know, they just can't see past what they're dealing with, in a sense. So
that's just say I'll be happy. I'll be happy. You said next week. All right. That's what I'm working with.
As long
you gonna get it done. That's what I'm working with.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the communication of getting stuff done. As far as me, I don't have a problem when it comes to getting stuff for the kid or getting stuff in line when it comes to me and her mom. We're very good when it comes to that, but other stuff it could be work on, you know what I mean? But for the point we're trying to make, sometimes even when it's the mom's turn, sometimes the mom got to be first when it comes to like mental health. Because if I know that my child's mom is kind of not feeling the best mentally, physically, whatever, I'm going to try to make sure she's good because my baby's around her. So it's like...
That comes with maturity, though.
Yeah, but I say
that's awesome that you think that way.
I have to because I'm not leaving my baby around no crazy bitch.
Exactly. I get that.
You know what I mean? So it's just like... We just got to pay attention to who and what we're dealing with, and we'll know how to operate in senses like that.
What do you think about, and the chat, you can kind of, we'll chat, I'm going to ask you guys this as well. What do you guys think about the 50-50 aspect? Like, say, for example, you have the child 50% of the time, and the child and the other parent has the child 50% of the time. Are you still able to collaborate effectively and help, or do you feel like you're not obligated to do that because you guys have equal time?
Well, that's another funny thing too when it comes to how much time you have with the kid. My time, and I know I have to provide. I do love spending time with my baby, but it's not ideal for you to have 50-50 time.
But if you do.
But if I do.
If you do, do you think, the question more so is, do you think that are you obligated to still assist? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say, for example, the child needs clothes, or the child needs shoes, or the child needs something, and mom isn't able to follow through, or dad isn't able to follow through. Do you think like, oh, well, I mean, we have the child the equal amount of time, so
we should be able to contribute the same thing financially. That's what you're saying?
Basically, I'm not obligated to help you because you know what I'm saying. What do you think about that?
Boy, it's tough because you have women that like to play like they're independent, so because they could do it, they expect you to do it. Same thing for men, it's vice versa. But it don't bother the men because we already wired to provide for everybody if needed. You know what I mean?
Some men.
That's exactly. So for that, it kind of goes both ways. Because some men don't go around like, oh, I'm independent and all that shit. It's just we have to be. We can't even brag about it if we are, you know. But for the women that like to push independence, they like to. Well, if I buy 2 pairs of shoes, you got to buy 2 pairs of shoes.
Right.
And the women that like to keep majority of the stuff what they buy at their house. That's
petty.
That shit is weird.
That stuff, I want to speak on that because that is so petty to me.
Yeah.
I think that is so petty. I'm sorry.
So it'd be like
I'm glad you mentioned that.
It'd be like so stuff petty. Like that some dads got to deal with. Oh, your dad should have stuff at the house.
No, I don't like that shit. I don't agree with that.
And one thing about my child's mom, she always, regardless, all the houses that the baby go, my mom got clothes here, her other grandma got clothes, my house got clothes, all the baby supplies. So, but she always pack her bag.
And if there's something needed, and if there's something needed, you'll help, or
vice versa.
I love that. That's awesome.
But like I said, I feel like I came around. I feel like I started in the game late, but I'm glad I started in the time where people are being more receptive and somewhat trying to hear you out to an extent. Absolutely. Or maybe I got lucky, I don't know. But I have friends that got some baby moms that don't want them, that they make them wish they don't want to be dads type of shit. You know what I mean? And that's kind of crazy.
Like you love the kid, but you don't like the person. You don't like your co-parent.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not even about the co-parent. Sometimes it just the situations that happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The situations some men, like I said, when they don't know how or when to put themselves first, they end up falling short and then falling on their face.
Right.
And that's when they get the title of a bum or can't provide for your kids.
Right.
When some of the times niggas really out here struggling trying to get together, but they put themselves last.
Right.
And they end up falling way back. But that ain't gonna be me. I'm definitely gonna eat and smile and shit. I'm not saying my baby gonna starve, but I know we
Right.
got people around.
you have to, like the car situation. I think that was a good example of you have to put yourself first. 'Cause you have to get your car fixed so you're able to go to
move
work,
around
so you
and
can
provide.
get paid,
To
so you
provide.
can be able to get that check. So I definitely understand
Yeah.
that, and that's, that's a good concept of putting yourself first.
And that could go for like time to rest, time for yourself. Just all of that goes into all of that when you're being a parent. When you need time for yourself, and people always tell you that you got to be on the kid 100% of the time. You can't have no time for yourself. That's only if you don't have a community, or they call a village. But once you have people around you, you have to take that time for yourself so you can remember yourself. Because when you're a parent, I'm pretty sure you can speak on that. Sometimes you get so, I gotta do this for the baby, I gotta do this for the kid. Yeah. You like, damn, I ain't really remember who I am no more. I'm just in the house looking at baby shit everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? So.
Absolutely. And that's why any shot, like hold on, I don't even know how to say this, but that's why I've taken it so serious. I feel like about bearing children, and we're I don't know if we're straying away, but I feel like we're not, but we are at the same time. But that's why I feel like it's very important of who you have children with. It's very, very, very important. And my child is 11 years old, and everybody who I was either pregnant with at that same time, they either have 2, 3, 4, even 5, 6 kids.
By the same person?
No, I don't know.
We're not going to judge nobody.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna speak on that, but I'm the only one left with one child, and not saying that there's something wrong with their family or their dynamic, because some of them are. I have a friend, great friend of mine. I love her to death, and she's still with. Hello, and she's still with her child's her kid's father. So I mean, that's a good example of someone and there's nothing wrong with her dynamic or anything like that. She's an awesome person. He's an awesome dad, and she's an awesome mother. Shout out to Cisco, cause shout out to him, cause he's a good dad.
Wait, this is like thong song Cisco?
No, oh my gosh, my friend's baby dad Cisco. Oh my god.
Hey yo, you caught me off guard with that. But so we got a couple more people in the chat. 90 Y Pre, West Y Pre. But back to your opening question, so that whoever just joined can hear and share their opinion.
Okay, so basically the question.
Mommy, the mic, I pick you up.
The question is.
My mom bugged out, guys.
Uh-oh. Sorry guys, I'm having some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
The question is, can you celebrate a father who doesn't fully show up, and what does showing up really mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, we need to know. Talk to us, chat.
What does that mean? What
does showing up mean?
So there's two questions in one. So why don't we focus on the first question,
Yeah, do the first part of the question
and then
first,
we'll
yeah.
do the second one. Can you celebrate a father who fully doesn't show up?
But first you gotta tell them what showing up fully means, because everybody have their interpretation.
Well, let's talk about what showing up means then first. Let's talk about what does showing up look like as a parent, as a father, as a parent, whatever the case may be. What does showing up look like? For me, I think showing up is. Go ahead.
And I feel like this is a question too. It don't even have to be as a parent, because this is something that we share as humans. Like when you gotta support somebody, but
absolutely
as a parent, that's just your responsibility. But
right.
on a human level, from friend to friend or
Right.
spouse to spouse, whatever it is, it's still the same feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So what does it mean to, like you said, show up?
Yes. What does it mean to show up?
From
As
whose
a father.
perspective, the child's or the mother?
Father, because this is
from the
this is Father's Day,
yeah.
so we strictly on the fathers right now, you know.
Or you probably just joined the chat late and answering a different question.
Yeah.
But yeah, the question is, what does showing up means?
Yeah. What does that mean?
That's the first part of the question.
Yeah.
Tell us your point of your perspective.
I just feel like
so I as a guy could make sure I'm hitting some of the marks.
to me,
What do you like when you want your son's father to show up? In what are some of the ways?
so I'm not gonna generally direct that question to him. I'm more so gonna direct it in a general aspect
Okay.
of what I would think a father showing up, you know, me, and because I'm someone's daughter, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so I can speak for a general aspect of what I got or what I would have wanted more or something like that. So for me, I just think if you have a co-parent that is genuinely trying to co-parent with you,
Mm-hmm.
I think you should put whatever aside, whatever feelings that you have aside, and focus on the child. I'm really big on mental health when it comes to children, because I feel like a lot of, especially black men, and I'm raising a black man, so I think that they're not able to kind of express themselves and things like that. So basically showing up, letting your child being able to express themselves, getting the child what they need, not just physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I think all those things go into raising a child, you know. So I feel like a father just collaborating with your co-parent, if it is a co-parent, you know. And I'm just sitting here talking about broken homes, but let's talk about those homes that are still together. And just because you're married doesn't necessarily mean that
You're there
and you're present. So that also goes for people being present as well. Sometimes we have stay-at-home moms. Sometimes we have dads that are stay-at-home dads. You know what I'm saying? Whatever work, and I don't judge anybody, because whatever works for you works for you. You know? So not to stray away from what the question was, but basically showing up for your kids is being present. I think being present, but if you have it, also be there financially. Because I feel like being present, people kind of think that, oh yeah, well, I'm present, I don't need to pay for anything, or you kind of do though. Or just because I'm paying for something financially, I don't have to be present. No, you still have to be there for your child, you know. So, and then not only that, it's important to ask your kids, what do you need from me? Like, I ask my child sometimes, like, what do you need from me?
Out of like frustration, or just like casual
like
conversation?
sometimes I feel like I yell too much. So I'd be like, Jay, I'm sorry. Like, and he'd be like, Mom, I just want you to focus on maybe just not yelling so much or something, or just talking to me or something like that. And I say, you know what, you're right. Like, we have those conversations because those are important. Those are important conversations. I feel like he's 11, so he's able to kind of speak up and, you know, like, say how he feel. And I'm really big on emotion, because I feel like that's,
we know.
I feel like that's important. You know, we're creating these men who are so not in tune with their self and not in tune with their emotions. I just feel like that's not okay, you know. So you should be able to express yourself. So I'm building a young black man, and I want him to be able to express himself and talk to me and tell me if I'm doing, now to a certain extent, because kids will try to get over. Now, you know, if you was acting up at school, you ain't about to sit on the TV all day. You know what I'm saying? But to a certain extent, when we're having those conversations with our kids, so even as fathers, have those conversations with your children. What do you need from me? Am I not being emotionally available to you? What do you need? You know what I'm saying?
But
those are just examples.
True, but as kids, do they even know what that means?
Listen, a 16-year-old child. Listen, when you are a parent, and you probably will understand this. I know you're a new parent, but your child will forever be your child, no matter what no matter what. My son, I don't care if he's 50 and I'm 80 years old. That's gonna always be my baby.
My mom always say that.
That's gonna always be my baby. So with that being said, maybe not. There are some. My son is extremely smart, and I know a lot of parents say this. Oh, my son is smart. No, that little boy, he's smart, very intellectual. He knows what's going on. So
I mean, if he could tell you how he pull up on you, like,
absolutely.
Mom, stop yelling at me.
Oh, absolutely. He don't even say. He like, Mom, he don't say, I don't need you. I need you to stop yelling. He's like, Mom, can we talk? Like, can you just try to talk to me? You know, because sometimes I just get Jordan, or you know what I'm saying. I have to take a step back, and I'm like, okay, let me sit with what he's saying. That does make sense. You know what I'm saying? And I do apologize. I do say I'm sorry because those things are important. I didn't have a parent that said sorry to me. I didn't have a parent that hugged me, that told me they loved me. I didn't have that. So I do that to my child because I know those things are important and it affects my adulthood now.
Yeah.
So I give that to my child because I know that's something that a child needs. You know? So
got you.
I feel like I don't even know if I feel like I kind of just strayed away from everything.
Not
but
necessarily.
Showing up, whether it's me because I'm a mom, so I can only speak from a mom standpoint. But when I'm speaking, I think a dad should also do that as well, you know?
Everything that you see.
Everything,
that you just
absolutely.
Said. Okay.
So let me just look. We're going to look at the chat and see what the chat is saying.
Because from my perspective, showing up would be like you said, so majority of what you said, I definitely agree with. But our take on for dealing with a son, especially, I would say most men would agree when we say yes, you can express yourself, but you have to know how. Where, women approach that more emotionally. Yeah, just however you feel. But we'll tell you, you gotta tough this shit out sometime.
Yeah.
And you can't express everything all the time. You just gotta tough it out and
absolutely
take a L. So that's what I say.
Because it's a cold world, so I get it.
But as far as like showing up, sometimes you said something about a married couple with the cat, but the dad still not present. But that goes. What if the mom is a stay-at-home mom and he's the one that has to stay out there and work? You can't really say shit because he's maintaining the whole structure. So him not being able to be there physically, but financially he take care of everything. He buy all the shoes, whatever sport they're playing, whatever activity, and the mom can just go buy whatever and get the shit done. So when that's happening, I feel like that's where the mom will have to, in a sense, cover for the dad and like let him know, like, if he's here, you might not get that new toy you want next month or whatever. You know what I mean? Shit like that. But you can't really say. But it all depends how the family dynamic is set up, like you said. So if it's like a single parent household where they share custody, whatever the case might be, once it's 50-50, I feel like it's not no showing up problem, because when it's your time, it's your time. It's my time, it's my time. But obviously there's sometimes it's going to be our time when we have to be there together. So I feel like in that case, showing up together is you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because once you have your son, you all good. You know what's up. Right. You there. When he has him, you not worried. He good. He there. But when it's time to show up together, that's where that is for, I would say but for showing up as a dad, I agree with most of what you said. But as far as the emotional part, we approach that differently. Yes. Whether it's a son or a daughter.
Absolutely. I do agree.
I'm gonna make my daughter a little G. You watch. She ain't gonna be no soft one out here. Check the chat. What does the chat say?
Let's see what the chat is saying now. As long as the child is comfortable with the father feeling nurture and love, providing the day-to-day necessities and communicate what they are feeling without the fear of misunderstanding. Okay. And protected. Okay. All right, Wesley Chuck, I get that. Showing up is always be there for them. financially, mentally, teach them how to be humble and courageous. I love that, Vaughn, One King. Absolutely. I agree with both of you, Wesley, Chuck, and Vaughn, One King. That's awesome. Definitely.
What you see then?
Definitely. So,
he's going to be a part of the panel.
So, we do have, hold on.
Oh, sorry. We do have what?
We need another chair.
Oh, yeah. We get to our next chair.
So, our special guest just arrived. So, we're going to introduce him on the show.
Okay, check. Be right back. Stay tuned.
But yeah, we get to our chair.
Are the mic? Okay.
Not the structure fly. You me get a gun before me get a blind. Could we take a life? Mr. Get a knife. You done dirty rough, but you better try. No giving up, I'm never lie. Put my back on the wall, nobody feeling fine. Hide me pain in the drugs, that's why me ever hide. Yeah, the soldier might have
Yeah, chat, you don't know this of the father them. All we need is just a chance, you see it?
When me daddy guy, watch my mother guy. No bedtime story, no lullaby. My life turn and friend turn me out, judge a wife. Now put my trust in a woman, you know them get alive. Like me spliff and cut my
Yeah, we don't see that real woman by we side, you see it?
All we need is just a chance.
Just a chance, people.
Show them what we can do. All we need is just a chance.
Talk to them, massacre. All we need, just a chance to do the right thing.
You them made out of steel, solid. You never change up for real. Them don't know the pain, don't feel. Them don't know the days when I meal. If I not try, them who you me no kneel. I feel honor you. Mama, you me see you have from wheel. Couple of me down, they are jail and no squeal. Yeah, they talk real out from the back of feel. So them matic out, I'm a prayer at the shit. I'm full of pain from my past, I'm in a past yet. But mama look on my blessing, them on my start check. I'm mama look on the lesson what life teach them. Them not see the half yet. All we need is just a chance to show them what we can do. All we need is just a chance to show them what we can do. All we need is just a chance to show them what we can do. All we need is just a chance to show them what we can do.
People. We have to go grab a chair and get set up real quick. We have a special guest passing through just to share some joining on the conversation with us about the topic of Father's Day and stuff. And I go by Ras Jesse. He's in the building.
Yes.
So Jesse,
Yes.
the eye is a father too, right?
Yeah, man.
How much kids you got?
8.
Nice.
Damn, me have 7 figure to catch up Rasta. So let's just back to the just so we can get him caught up. So Jesse say I have 8 kids in us, so that means 8 time and get for correct whatever mistake he made. So I'm pretty sure he got gems and knowledge on.
Absolutely.
And you have sons and daughters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. That's it all. So go ahead.
So the topic for today is: can you celebrate a father who doesn't fully show up, and what does showing up really mean? So.
Well, sometimes you have to think about the circumstances why a father don't show up, you know. There is a difference with abandonment and being exempt from a family, because there are circumstances that lead to those notions too.
Mm-hmm. So that's a fact.
So, do you think that you can celebrate a father who wasn't present at all, or do you think that that father should still be, um, acknowledged and things like that?
Yeah, I think all fathers should be acknowledged because from time to time I hear the thing single mothers. I believe there is not named single mothers because
Yeah.
mothers can make children by themselves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not a father is present,
Mm-hmm.
the child should be encouraged to respect and seek to build a relationship with that father.
Mm-hmm. Um, so if that father doesn't really want to be involved with the child, how does that go?
From his, if that's his decision.
Yeah, so if it's because there are some fathers out there that just really don't want
Oh, yeah.
to be involved. Or maybe there is fathers that was like, I'm excited about you having a child and things like that. And then when the child comes, they kind of get cold feet and then they leave the mother and the kid.
Well,
So-
put it this way. We can make the best of what we have control over.
Mm-hmm.
But what we don't have control over, then we have to just let it go. So if one exerts all effort to be in touch with the father and it does not happen, you cannot blame neither the mother nor the child.
Right, yeah, for sure.
That's
Okay.
a big facts, big facts.
Um,
So what's the second part of the question?
what does showing up really mean?
Yeah,
as a
what showing up
father?
mean?
That is a big thing.
Yeah.
But I believe to say any kind of time a child can get to spend with their father, it is important. Especially girls, you know. I work in a detention center and happen to interact with a bunch of girls. And the most of them I talk to, because sometimes we look at what is happening. What is happening is obvious. But if we scratch the surface and look at why it happened, but when I talk to these girls, one of the main factor is lack of a father in their house. And it's not only the lack of father in their house, their mothers keep their fathers out. However, I don't want to use Father's Day to bash female because that's not what I do neither. But it is just a
facts.
natural fact that sometimes fathers are kept out of the house. And I will always tell people if I'm with a woman who have children, I don't want her children call me daddy. I'm a stepfather, but I don't want to replace your father.
Right.
And sometimes that's what is going on. People are trying to replace a father with a stepfather, you know?
And that no look good.
So, question: what about a father that I know a situation where a father didn't want to be present in the child's life. However, the person, not saying this is right, the person started dating a ex-boyfriend while she was pregnant. And that was about 15, 16, 17, maybe, probably like 17 years ago in all. They're still together. And that she knows that she has another dad, but the father who's been there for her, the one that the ex-boyfriend, now current husband,
They raised her.
that raised her, she calls him dad. So what do you think about that? And that's literally the only and he doesn't have any other children. They don't have any children together. So he was there, he was actively raising that child, and actively raising that child, and that child, his family, she's like, oh, these are my cousins, even though technically they're not even blood related or anything, but because that father was there and stepped up into that father role, she does call him dad. What do you think about that?
All right. Just to play the devil's advocate here, I don't think fathers can be replaced. However,
Oh, absolutely.
However, I'm going to put it on a broader picture now. I'm going to take it to family. Family does not necessarily mean blood.
Right.
Family is a group of people that function together
Absolutely.
and achieve common goal.
Absolutely.
So therefore, that person who played a major role in that child life, if they choose to call him daddy, I believe it would be okay because he played the role of a father, so he became a family, not a family by blood, but a family by relationship. So I wouldn't oppose to that.
Okay. Okay.
So, where I got my question, so, but I want to know, because, man, if you know, I recently had a daughter. So, you said earlier it's more important that the father spends more time with their daughter, and you gave a couple examples, but can you go more into that?
For some reason, I don't have no scientific evidence, not anything to that, but I kind of find that daughters have some special bond with their fathers, and when the father is not present, they're like, it affects them more than it affects sons, and even in relationship, most time when a girl reach teenager and start think about boy, she's thinking about her first man as the man is going to be the man in her life. At that same age, a boy is trying to score, you know. So sometimes a girl need a father in them life to kind of teach them the ropes of life, you know, and some of the things that them face, especially with males, you know.
True.
I definitely agree with that. I think it's very important for any child to have, you know, both parents. However, I do kind of agree with, you know, daughters really needing their fathers, because I feel like it's when you have a father that shows up for you, you kind of know what not to deal with when it comes to men, you know. So you kind of have, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that people who had a father don't get in abusive relationships. I'm not saying that, and like you said, scientific evidence. I don't have that either.
Up.
However, I do notice the people that I come across that they're not really likely to get in those situations because they did have a father who said, you know, this is okay, or a present and an active father who was an actual good father and there for them. So I definitely think that I definitely agree with that and think that is very important for, you know, daughters and fathers that have that bond.
And as I mentioned earlier about scientific evidence, there's really none, but we can even watch a pattern too, because especially in our community, we'll find mothers, they're more bond with their sons than they bond with their daughters, you know. So it's like, for some reason, a son is special, you know, because a son could carry 5 different girls in the house. That would make him a star boy. But the same daughter go with 5 different girls, that make her a uchi.
Right.
You know, so it is a pattern where mothers endorse with son and give son the kind of support that daughters don't get from mothers. So it is important to have fathers in daughters' life.
Yeah, I agree.
So that is not no double standards, people. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, your daughters will be more protected with their fathers close by.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
All right, so the next question I see that I want to ask is like, because like I said, I used to tell people that I was a father before because I helped raise my little sister, and I played like a father figure in her life, and she's doing great. Let me say, she's on honor roll in her school, and she just got her job yesterday, so I'm giving her a shout out for that.
Oh, that's nice.
It made me feel like a proud dad already. Yeah. But so with that, I used to, you know, people ask me which a question I ask myself, and I'm glad you put it is what does being a father mean?
Say what it mean to me?
Yeah. Or what do it mean to you, and what overall?
Well,
because I'm pretty sure it means more than just having the kid. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you're kind of referring to what is the responsibility of a father, right?
That can go too.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm not no expert at fathering, because
I mean,
hold on. There is no there is no expert way of a fathering, If you have children, even if you have 5 children in the same house, same mother, same father, same rules, you will find out that nobody have no expert way of parenting.
Absolutely.
Part of parenting is trial and error.
Absolutely.
Because the way you deal with one child and that child come out perfectly how you want them to be. You might deal with another child and it is the total opposite. And at the end of the day again, can anybody impart more than they know to somebody else?
That's funny.
So what I'm saying now, sometimes when we are teaching, we believe we are teaching the children the best thing that they're supposed to know. But we don't even know that we ourselves don't know enough. But now sometimes the children's mind is advanced to our mind. Sometimes we can learn from them too. So if we would take the time to learn from them, we would do better parenting. But sometimes we parent like my way or the highway.
But that's funny. Me and one of my aunts always having a debate about my parenting, and I'm like, this is my experiment. And she used to be saying, you can't, that's a child. I'm like, I get it, but it's an experiment to see if what your philosophy that you have in your head is gonna, of a good parent, is gonna work. Because that's what really your kids are. And when I said that to her, she was debating me, and I'm like, and just like you said, I try to tell her, like, you can learn from kids, but with most people from your generation, them, especially from Jamaica.
Well, you see, that's what I'm saying now. You see, I think one of the main thing about parenting is the ability to listen.
And they don't.
And is the ability to give that child advice.
And they don't.
That is so surprising that.
And they don't.
That's so surprising
in my
that you
culture,
said that, but that's awesome because we were literally just talking about that. We were literally just saying before you came on, we were saying listening to your children because that's important. Children, they're people. They're human. You can't, but some parents are literally their child's first bully. And people don't understand that. Some parents are literally their child's first bully. And you cannot be like that. That child is gonna grow up resenting you, hating you, and scared of you.
It's not even you. They have that same thing towards people, and so when people approach them, when the aggression you approach them with, they take it the same way, and most of the time cover up and get bullied. So that's why.
A lot of the times too nowadays, with parents on both sides, like mother and father, they're not honest with their kids.
Yeah, they.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Just.
For example,
speak louder.
Yeah.
Like for example, let's say they have like they tooth fall out, and they put the money under the pillow, like, oh, it's a tooth fairy.
You mean?
Come and say, the tooth fairy came in last night and put the thing under the table. Like that's not being honest and true, transparent with your kid. What's going on in the real world?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like once they step out there, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's actually the tooth fairy put this under my pillow, and it's actually dad worked his ass off. Put the money under the pillow, then you don't tell them, like, you know what I mean? A lot of fathers rather tell them the truth instead of hate.
But they come back to what me and Jenny said earlier, where they feed into the child's emotion, we feed into the logics of things, and like, hey.
I think I'm sorry.
Daughters, like a lot of fathers are still like, you have all these essential, which you meaning like your pads, your this, your that. You know what I mean? A lot of kids our parents won't talk to their kids about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're somewhat embarrassed about it. Which is something very important to talk to your daughter about.
Well, you see this myth about the Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy and everything like that.
And this one bugger.
It's like we are functioning under a replacement. We are functioning under a replacement culture, because as a people, our language, our culture, and everything was replaced. Because even when time Francis Drake and them was asking the Queen of Spain to permit them to carry slaves to the West, when she asked them what was in it for the Africans that they were carrying as slaves, in return, he said he's going to Christianize them and make them civilized. If 500 years on the plantation is civilization, I want to be uncivilized.
Talk, no?
And if Christianity is going to make me civilized under 500 years of slavery, I want to be primitive and uncivilized. You know?
That
So
mental
some of the thing that we have is back from the plantation. It is a distraction. When you come up with this kind of theory, it take away from the family, it take away from everything. It take away from you to thinking about your nation, your language, your culture. So you practice and you perpetuate all these kind of things. Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy and the whole madness. Little Green Man and the elves and
all them bag of
Santa
foolish
Claus
bullshit.
and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's time for us to replace that. You see, and not even buy children's book. Because black people are the only people who have children's book. If you go in a like rich people house, they have a library and the same books that they read, are the same books they read to their children. So we spent 6 years from 1 to grade 6 reading children's book and all that bullshit. Then we admire how smart white people are. No, white people are smarter than us. They are exposed
More
to
than
the
us.
reading of the books and things that we are not. So they are cultured and they are molded to excel while we stay aside and do fairy tales and then
I read
we,
My Name is Bob.
yeah, we have to be playing catch up.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
I tell them, you know.
From 1 to 6, we learn to read. But when you read 7th up to 12, you have to read to learn. How do you cope? Here the next thing. Oh, you're a minor until you're 17, but the day you're 18, you're an adult. You can do everything. Who taught you to be an adult?
I tell you, man, the amount of...
Yeah.
More, some people in the chat answer some of these questions. It's
Absolutely.
some of these so-called upright citizens, you know?
So that was awesome.
Yeah, just
For sure.
cause that's why I say father, back to the main thing, father is very important because that's logical stuff that a man where pay attention to life and everything can see and say, yeah, we not, you know, that's why I say we're more logical, like it make the balance. So if your father is still present in your life, and you're a female, and you can look at your life, and you know you love how your dad raised you, I'm pretty sure you can look at yourself and like, you know what I mean? You could tell.
I think people should start giving parents in general, this is Father's Day, so I'm gonna stick to the fathers, but if you do have a present father, give that father grace and be appreciative. Because there are not a lot of people in the world that have fathers and parents. There are some people that are born with no parents at all. So shout out to all the fathers again, and people who are showing up for their kids. I think that's so important. I really do.
There's another thing too when it comes to parenting again too, you know. Sometimes we fail to realize that we are inter and intra-generational, you know. So there is a thing called generation gap. That means when this generation is still a child, another generation just becoming adult. So now it is a gap. So what are we going to do? We're going to build bridges, or we're going to build fence?
Right.
You know? So then we have to kind of come to a realization that we have to build a relationship with the children, that we start understanding what is going on during those years when we become adults. Because if we don't have that relationship, the child will kind of just run loops around us. You know,
and they already are.
we don't understand nothing is going on in their generation
They
because
think
it
you know,
is
you
we
don't.
and them. You know, so it is important to understand what they does today, what they are into. In this way, you could, like, you know, the way you do things, you know. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but there is another approach. Depends on the result what you're looking for. And explain to me when you do this now, over a period of time, what result are you going to get from that, you know?
You have to know.
Absolutely.
That's a big. I like that.
Yeah,
I
so
like that. I like
we
that. I
have to
like
build
that.
bridges between the generation gap, but we tend to make fence. You see, sometimes I hear people talk about the good old days, you know? I don't really subscribe to the good old days, okay? Because the good old days come with its whole set of problems too, you know?
Absolutely.
I more believe in emerging today and yesterday.
Yes.
Because I don't even talk about past and future. The only time I see is today, and I talk about the present, you know? So we have to rationalize the reality that we live with today, you know?
That definitely affects, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because my thing with the disconnect with parents from, like you say, with the adult thing and not paying attention and giving them the same respect as time age, like when they cross over into adulthood, starting to respect them as such instead of stop treating it, you know, because they go from it would be like you have Jamaica culture where kids grow up and become like in the 18, they even not say 18, like 20s now. They might work, they still live in the house with majority of the time with the parents or grandparents, and you still want to give them the same rules as a kid. Like that can't make sense.
But I'm not going to let the children off for the hook neither, you know? Because we are our ancestors and our ancestors are us. So children have to still have respect for their elders
definitely,
too.
I agree, definitely
Because now you might feel youthful and strong, but it's like physical strength is not what makes you. It's the mental strength. Because one day you're going to get old and you're not going to be physically well. And no care how you young today, you're going to get old. We are our ancestors and our ancestors are us. So we have to respectfully transition from one stage to another.
Yeah, definitely. But that's what I say. When we're growing up with some of the parents, them now. I don't know, is the disconnect. Like you said, we have to find the bridge to understand.
You
So
know
like,
the next thing too, I got to defend the parents on that one. Because sometimes adult you want to live in your house, right? But they want to say, I'm adult. You can't tell me nothing. There is no rules. There is nothing
No, you don't go so
that
far.
govern my house. But at the same time, oh, I'm your child. You're supposed to. No.
That's the double face.
Right.
So here.
So that's what earlier I talked about. Family is not just blood. Family is a group of people working together on a common goal. To accomplish something. So sometimes your adult children, they are not working with you on that. They want to do what they do with their resources and everything, but at the end of the day, you don't have no say so. So I'm not letting the child off of the hook for that neither.
No, it's not necessarily not for hook, but it's just they have, like I said, make the bridge. So you, like you say, you know, live in that past, but you understand. So you know, you was at that age and transitioning. So that's what I'm saying. If you can find that transition and use that to make the bridge.
Yeah, the respect of just to be mutual though. And it come back earlier and you asked a question about responsibility. Fathers have responsibility. Parents in general have responsibility. But children also have responsibility to parents. And this responsibility is not just to parents. It's responsibility to their transition. Because they are now moving from children to young adult to parent to ancestors who will be buried somewhere in a coffin. You know, so respect the transition. Respect every aspect of the transition, you know.
For both.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yeah, that's let me see the next question that we got jot down. That's hella dope. When you were growing up, before you became a father, what is it? Everything you thought it was gonna be? What did you think it was growing up until you became a father?
Well, to be honest with you, I never planned fatherhood, you know, because all my life I was a father. You know, it's like at an early age, the responsibility of leadership was kind of on my shoulder, you know.
So if you don't mind me asking, how old were you when you first became a father?
18.
I was a mother before you.
So anyway.
But yeah, I get it. That's how I
so-
feel too. Like I feel like I've
but
always been a parent.
Fathering for me is never about my children. You know, it like as Rastafari too at an early age too. It was the creed of Rastafari. Let the hungry be fed. You know, the aged be cared for. You know, the blind be led, and the little children be protected. You know, so. Even growing up at an early age as children myself too, people look to me for leadership, you know. And we live in a community where the town named after us, so it's like everybody was like family. So me and my brother is like up to this day people look up to us for leadership, and there was always this feeling of fatherhood, you know. And even when I become father, I get heat in the house because my family was, why are you putting so much time in other people's children when you should be putting in the children in the house? So I'm saying the children in the house outside is mine, just like the children in my house too, you know. So fathering is a thing where I've been in me from before I even made any children.
Okay. Yeah, I think probably like a natural thing, you know, like more so like a natural thing. We're here to breed and, you know.
And as I mentioned earlier, I'm not no expert father. I have my whole set of screw-ups as well too. And maybe it was not even screw-up. Maybe I was only doing the best of what I know.
Absolutely. Like Jay said, I think it's a trial and error type of thing.
Yeah.
It really is. No one gave us a book about life.
There is no blueprint though,
There's
because
none at all.
it is not written in stone. It is situational, you know, because the situation that you have with one set of children or one child, it is going to be totally different with another youth. Even when they are grow up in a household with the same parents, same sibling and everything, because every youth is their own person. You know, and sometimes it is difficult to find that little common ground, you know.
Sometimes it's difficult to find the common ground.
Absolutely.
But people, like me say, me's a new father, me just experiment. So where you can tell me, Jesse, or what kind of advice you can pass to me for help guide me through raising a daughter?
Listen carefully, bro, and do the best of what you know, you know. You don't try to do more than what you know, you know. Because you see what you know today, you have to do the best of what you know. And until there is something better that replaces that. Because if you're not doing the best of what you know, you're being phony, you know. So use the best of what you know to the best of your ability, you know. And when it comes to you, listen carefully.
Okay. You got any more questions, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Do we give credit and celebrate mothers who stepped up to that father role? Do we give credit to fathers who stepped up to a mother role? Does that make sense?
Like the nurturing role?
No, like there are single fathers out here. There are fathers who their child mother is just gone in the wind. You know what I'm saying? Like they had to step up and be the mom, be the dad, be the nurturer, be the provider, be everything.
But I get what you're trying to say, but from my point of view, I think the dad is just the dad. You know what I mean? That's why he said, that's what, you get what I'm saying?
You can't take away, no, I get it, what he said.
It'd be just like, they have that stigma where the mom could say she played the dad too. We can't say we played the mom too. It's not a thing.
It's not a thing, okay.
From my point of view. I mean,
Right, you would hear a man say he played the mother role, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are some fathers who have to be commended because when the mother is absent, they step in and make the sacrifices,
Absolutely.
you know? And
Absolutely.
To be honest with you, it is much more difficult for a father to raise children by themselves, because to
I
give
agree.
a woman the credit, what a woman do with $100 in her house, a man can do it with $200.
True.
I agree.
You know?
We are different. I do agree.
Women multitask and do certain amount of things, because a woman will go out, do a job like a man, come back home and do everything around the house.
Me.
That is something that a man have to learn. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to give women the credit for the role where them play. And sometimes when time a woman run out leave their children, which is rare, doctor, but sometimes nobody dig up to see what it is, so sometimes we have to just see life for what it is. When we end up with a child that we have to take care of by ourselves, we just do that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a son where funny my 13, I raise him till him become adult too, so I never blame the mother for nothing, I just raise him.
Oh no, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Love that. So the next question is, can you still show love to a father that hurt you?
Depends.
What is the hurt?
Yeah, it depends.
Is it
So I'm gonna say, not being there, not being active,
Present.
and you're not being present. That comes with hurt. Whether we wanna admit it ourselves or not, that can be hurtful, especially if that father is showing up for his other children.
But
So-
again, it comes down
Situational.
to circumstances.
Can you-
What are the reasons why that father disappeared? Did that father disappear to preserve himself? Was the father in danger being there? Was the father risking going to jail? Was the father just thrown out? Was there another man that have bet more money than him that somebody wanted and not him? So there is several reasons why a father leaves. So before we even start getting that bandwagon, we have to find out why did the father leave. So it comes down to talk to that father, reason with that father, what really happened. And sometimes men, we don't want to go out and start telling people, oh, the lady did that and lady did that. No, we want to just keep that personal and respectful. It's not too. Some men will go out and try to put on the woman and have their children. I'm not going to talk nothing bad about no woman that have my children. So therefore, my side of the story is not going to be heard.
Right.
And I'm there with several men like that. Their side of the story is never heard because they just never tell nobody why they leave or why they had to leave.
DDG.
Well, maybe it's so when I'm saying show love to a father that hurt you, I'm more so saying that a father that just didn't want to do, because there are people who just like
And
I
then
don't,
again,
I don't care, I don't love this child, I don't want anything to do with this child.
sometimes it's not that too, but sometimes it's like culture shock. Sometimes people get frightened for responsibility. Sometimes it is the influence. Think about. I noticed that from a young age. When a little girl reach 13, 14, start growing breasts, you find some women take them in the kitchen, teach them some things, even teach them about men. When time you are 13, 14, 15 and you go on the corner, a man is only going to show you how to run a lines on girls. They are going to show you how to use your wallet. They are going to show you some kind of brute force. What do you learn about the mental aspect of a female life as a young boy? And what is the influence of your peers, the older men on the corner? When somebody look at you and tell us, say, oh, that girl is an idiot girl, man, all of us pass through that girl, man, maybe that's not even your youth and things like that. You know the kind of ridicule going through, especially a teenager at the time, and how shame he is. Now he's pleased in his peers. So there's a lot of things that lead up to those situations. So in order to just spit out the hatred, sometimes you have to sit down with that person and say what really happened. And you have to start seeing things from his point of view too. So hatred is strong.
So would you be able to love your parent? Would you be able to still show love to a father that hurt you?
I wouldn't say my father hurt me, but I never knew my father till I was 26 years old. But when I met my father, there was no love lost.
Okay.
I
so
even
yes.
think it make me a better person too, guys. The kind of emotions that some youth have about a missing father, I never had that. I never know a father.
I'm there with you.
Hmm? Yeah, I never know a father. But I know who my father was.
Okay.
My father supported us too, but I never know him. I never
Oh,
see
okay.
him. I was 26 years old when I saw him.
For me, I would say yeah. It just depends. For me, I think if that father is willing to show up and actually admit where they were wrong and wanting to actually have a relationship, I would say yes. I would be able to forgive. But if it's a parent that is narcissistic or, not really wanting to admit their wrongs or, can we move past this or whatever the case may be, because I'm really big on, hey, how can we move past this? Let's sit down, let's talk about it, but what can we do to move past it? If it's more so like, because some people will blame the kid, and I don't think that's right. A child is a child. You cannot blame a child. So, but, so I would say yes. I would be able to do that.
But back to what Jay said again, it's like about taking responsibility, Because if I done something out of ignorance because I did not know better, it would be part of my responsibility to look at that child and say, look, you see at the time when this happened, I was doing the best of what I know,
Yeah.
Maybe this was the kind of influence. Maybe I was on drugs, Maybe I was hiding from the police. Maybe my friends and the peers, the people that I look up to, they were influencing me, Maybe you have to just come clean. Look, your mother raised you all these years. I wasn't there. I not even want to tell you the real deal. But these are the questions you should go and ask your mother. Because I don't want to come out of my mouth.
Right.
Ask your mother why this, why that, why this, why that. Because sometimes you need mother to take responsibility for the action while the father leave too. And one thing, what about the parents, mothers who want to keep that child, that they can garner child support or they can get more food stamp and things like that too. So there is a lot of factors that lead to that it's not on the surface, And I'm not putting down no woman, because I respect women who raise their children alone, because it's not easy to raise children,
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
So what do you think, what do boys need to learn early to become a good father?
They must learn how to respect, teach them to start respect their mother, respect their sister, My children mother, you know what? If my children mother is out with my children and they get $1, she would tell them change $1 and bring a quarter to your father. I teach them that kind of loving and sharing, kindness and so. So at least you have to teach your son to respect their mother, respect their sister. If you hear them disrespecting another female out there, you call them and you don't have to bad them up, nothing like that. You just call them and say, son, that's not the right approach to take,
Right.
Because there's a number of things that this can lead to, So I don't see no better way for guide a boy into be a better father, because the most of this breakdown with fathers is a lack of respect for the woman, and I don't want to keep saying women contribute to it too, because sometimes some men just get frightened for responsibility and leave, And the next thing is sometimes a whole group of men screwing around with the same girl. But when time they were doing that, the girl was okay, but when the girl get pregnant, everybody starts saying she's dirty. Who is dirty here now? The men that screw around with her or she?
Right.
Yeah, so these are the kind of things you have to teach your sons,
Absolutely. What do you think, Jay, though? What do you think? I know you're a boy dad, a girl dad, sorry. You're a girl dad. So, but what do you think boys need to learn early to become good fathers?
Back to what he said first. Listen and pay attention. That's it. That's all I can say when it comes to women. And you definitely gotta be stern with boys that I know, because I know that I didn't say I wasn't a stubborn kid, because all the adults loved me, so I wasn't stubborn. But once I got out into the world, I understood that you have to learn how to be stern. And now that I'm doing it with the people who raised me, they take it as I'm being stubborn, but I'm just respecting my peace. You know what I mean?
Your
That's
boundaries.
type of shit.
Right.
So it's just like, it's just certain things like that you gotta be mindful of when with dealing with boys, and actually teaching them how to transition that and not be disrespectful. You know what I mean?
There's another thing too that boys need to learn, you know. When your friend have a girl, let that be your friend, girl, man. Don't be messing around. All of you messing around with the same little girl. Cause when she get pregnant, how you going to know whose baby it is?
Exactly.
Well, that's how you can hear that.
Yeah.
All right, so you have any closing out questions? Because we have a couple dads in the house that we want to come share their point of view before we lock out. Shit. Mr. Morgan, forward, we have a close up. We want you to come give it some, your point of view of what being a, I feel even just in my come right here so I might cheer. Because I don't get ready for squeeze up. So come tell the people what being a father mean, and then tell them the new fathers and fathers who are already fathers that need some answers to some questions. How to properly, take care of them family and them kids.
Hello.
So just
Welcome, Samaga.
good evening, everybody. Happy Father's Day. I wish the greatest father is our Heavenly Father.
Absolutely.
So, thank God we are here, on Father's Day. But being a father is not just getting a child or getting children. Bible talk about how, we are to raise our children. I think Ephesians 6 and Proverbs 22 and 6 talk about training. Proverbs 6 tell us how we must raise our children as a good father. So a good father don't mean, or a father don't mean you get children and you walk off and you're gone somewhere else and, leave your children them, just out in the open. A good father gonna take care of their children. A good father gonna teach their children, how they must act, how they must behave, because it's gonna come sometime down the road when that son gonna start a family too. So we have to tell them, and show them how to grow their children and how to lead their children and how to train their children. So you can't be a father and you're doing the things that unseemly and, have your son in the same way, seeing all those things. You have to let your son them know, the good way of being a father, growing up their children. So, first of all, I thank God for the mothers, because a whole lot of us fathers, we get children, but when it comes to time, we're not around. Well, a lot of us have to go off to work, okay, to take care of them. Some go off, really, and then just gone. The children don't even know where they're at. Right now, there are a lot of children asking, who is my father? Where can I find my father? And, when you look on it and you think about it, a whole lot of mothers out there can tell you, that they are the mother and they are the father. So I thank God for the mothers too. Because a lot of the mothers play a lot of good role when they come up to bringing up their children. You know, some home you go, you don't even know whether a father is in the home or not, because the way how the mama grow up the children, you know, you don't think a father is right there.
Absolutely.
You know, so you know we have to talk about the mother. We have to lift them up, you know, and thank God for them. You know, because if it wasn't for enough of the mothers, half of the children, them what you see in prison now, more than that would be there. But if the mother stand up, say, you know, although your father not here, but I'm going to stand up with you. I'm going to make sure you raise the way, you know, you must raise. So we thank God for a lot of the mothers. A good father don't mean you just get children and walk off, left them. And you go and tell the world how much children you have. And then you don't know how they eat and how they drink. You don't know how they wear. You don't know how they live. You don't even know if they have a roof over their head. A good father gonna stand up, you know, for their children. So even if you're gone as a man, you know, gone work for bringing the bread in the house, you still have that connection, you know, with them. So, you know, a good father, you have to stand up, not only as a father, but as a good father.
Yes, thank you. That was awesome. So, I just want to thank both of you two. You were awesome for joining the show and giving us both of you guys' perspective. Jay, do you have anything to say for closing?
Yeah, like we say, everybody, thank you for tuning in. And I don't know me to celebrate the Father's Day business, but we do appreciate the fathers out there that's fully active every day, like a part of life. So if we celebrate life, we celebrate life because that's a part of it. So we say happy Father's Day again, I guess.
Yes, happy Father's Day.
There's one more thing though, you know, today since this is a Father's Day thing, I never want to come off topic still, you know, but in all that we do still, we should always have that high regards and respect for the female that mothers our children. And no matter what differences that we have, we should recognize the effort and the input that they make for us to have successful children, you know. So that's how I will close this session, you know. Always remember to respect the mothers.
Yes. So, thank you so much, both of you. And I just want to say before closing, shout out to all the great mothers and fathers and everybody who stepped up into a parental role and are taking care of children. So.
Yeah, definitely shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out our sponsors. Definitely shout out Niger. Shout out CRNE. And shout out Boogie the barber.
Yes.
And shout out to who wants it today because it's our special day. So definitely shout out to my mom and my auntie and everybody that take part. And shout out to the yard boy Bucky. Yard boy service people. It's the grass fresh and cut. We are promote behind me. That's why we sat here today. You see, if you don't want the grass cut. We got that. So link Livevybz TV. We got the lawn care for y'all. So again, we asked you something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me just tick this off. I'm giving a shout out to my
Plug mechanics, man.
to my kids them mother, because I remember when I leave home and travel, she was the one. I might be here sending money, you know, and sending this or talking it to them, but she was the one that there playing the mother and the father at the time. And most of all, I give God thanks, who is the greatest father of all fathers.
Yes.
What? I'll leave the stage.
Amen.
All right, just like that, people, thanks for tuning in. Catch us next week again for Gyalis and the Baddies.
Bye, everyone.
And next Friday again, Vybz Friday, each and every Friday. Jess, we want a sponsor. You say the tonics card.
I have two tonic, you know. Yeah.
Two tonic we have.
You have Coxman Production, that's my production. Edward Aita Limited, my production.
Okay.
I have tonic.
Oi!
Yeah, I do tonic and bitters and cosmetics, like all natural stuff, you know. and herbs, incense, oils, and all of that.
Okay.
Whole 9 yard, holistic.
So we can get contact you. Make them reach you to reach you.
585-202-0845.
Hold on. Let me get talk, because I don't know I'm going to the yard boy. So it's all this and talk to you. Tell me
Yeah,
again.
phone number is 585-202-0845. Or Link Jay or Michelle or any one of them to my number.
Alright. So definitely link Livevybz PV. You get linked to the tonic man. And again, catch us next week, people. Thanks for viewing. Remember to do like and
If you like the vibe, subscribe.
alright.
Although you've made a vow, before death you must not part. Honey, break it, break it, break it. Disrespect, dishonesty, that's not how it's supposed to